Alright you guys, so welcome back to the first video, so to speak, in the Holiday Bliss. We are beginning the party, the pajama party, with making glitter trees. Now keep in mind to have your bingo card ready to click off as you do projects, because there will be prizes. I know I mentioned that you guys would get a sneak peek of the prizes, but I don't have them ready just yet. So before this is all said and done, you will definitely know what those prizes are. I'm probably going to give away like my kit and then like a couple other things. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. So I was in the middle of tearing up pages to go in on my tree. And I had a thought in the middle of tearing all these pages up. And I'm going to reuse these, don't get me wrong. I have another idea for those. But I want to go ahead and do one that's colorful, that is going more for what I love. And I'm going to use tissue paper. So, like I said, you can use just about any kind of paper you want. I'm trying to make sure that is like steady. My desk here has a hump on it, so it doesn't, I want to make sure that this spool is going to sit flush when I set my tree up. As you can see, I've kind of put some tissue paper in there and I've cut my skewers. So let me start from the very beginning to show you guys my steps. So, and actually I kind of like this blue because we're doing like kind of a blue Christmas around our house. And I know that this is still a really good sewing. Oh, that's better. So I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so I know this still has, but I love the way this looks when it's like kind of sitting out, you know, I don't know, it's kind of fun that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some tissue paper, and since I'm going to be using tissue paper in this project, but I think I'm going to pull out some blue since it's blue, and we're going to go from there. And really, you guys, I'm just going to tear it. There's no preciseness to this project. And I'm going to start out with kind of getting some paper kind of like squished up, ready to go, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. So that's just kind of going to be there. Then I'm going to take one of my skewers and I'm going to measure how far I want my tree to go up. So depending on the spool, I wouldn't, you know, want to make it fairly big to where it looks regular or whatever. Now I saw a trick the other day that if you are to cut these, which these are fairly easy to break, but if you were to have a larger one and you had these, you know, you could use like wire cutters, or like they're called chopping scissors, but you could soak your dowel stick in water and that makes it a lot softer and it makes it from splintering. And I'll show you what that means by that. See how this is like got all the jagged edges, but we are okay with it because we're not going to be using that. In fact, we're going to be covering it up right now. So I'm going to basically take my edge and I'm just going to wrap this tissue paper around the edge. And this side, you can see it doesn't have the skewer inside there, because basically what I'm doing is creating a kind of a thickness around the edges, and it's going to go straight down in the cylinder. Now if you were to do like how I talked about earlier, doing a paint, you wouldn't have to worry about like you could fill the whole thing up with tissue paper. This is basically just making this where it sticks, but of course, as you can see, it's still wiggly. And so what I'm going to do now is I created a hole where my skewer was down. See that hole right there? So I'm going to take my hot glue gun. Oh yeah, I guess I should have said make sure your hot glue gun's going. And I'm going to just squirt a tab of hot glue down in there. And I'm going to stick my skewer down in there. Just like so. Now I use hot temp glue. I don't know, that's what I use in all my projects. Oops, so I'm just gonna let it sit there, just like that. And as you can see, it's come out on the bottom, which is fine. Actually, I'm going to pull that out and add a little bit around the edging and then push it back in there. I'm just going to wipe off that excess glue a little bit. I want to make sure it stands and it's in a straight. Don't want a leaning tree. We've got a leaning tree in our house already. Yeah, we started decorating already. I know it's early, but we're having family over, so I want to make sure that my house is pretty and decorated. Okay, so when they arrive. Okay, so now that we have this, we're going to set that aside. And I've decided, since I've talked about doing tissue paper, I'm going to actually do the color of the rainbow and have a rainbow tree. So we're going to start out, and the way I understood this is we're just going to rip paper. And the less the edges, the better. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to start out with, since purple's going to go on the bottom, we definitely want bigger squares, and we want groupings of paper. So we don't just want to have one individual and we're going to stick it onto the skewer. We want several pages at one time. So I'm just kind of and again, I have no idea, and you don't want to make them too small. Like, I think I made those too small, but you don't want to make them too big either. So, but I think what I'm going to do is just kind of like tear up some of these and go from there. And that way I have a pile. And then we'll go and start moving it onto, I think that would be the best thing. So I'm going to speed it up really quick here while I tear all the pages. Alright, so now that I've got all my little teeny tiny pieces of paper all cut up, I'm going to go ahead and take them in groups and push them down onto the skewer and hope for the best. I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. I know that in the book, I just have a tendency I want to move them around, but she said to just leave them in groups, which I love the way it looks in the book. So I'm going to trust it, and I'm just going to go with it. If you noticed, I didn't have any red, which is shocking because it's Christmas, and I probably do. I just didn't have it in my stack here. So we don't have any red on our tree, which is perfectly fine. So I think I'm going to just tear this. Maybe one more stack of blue, like that. And then we're going to do some yellow. Now you guys, if you're wondering, this is my first time to make this, so we're going to see. Hopefully it's not a project fail. But so far I think it's super cute. I think the trick is to just make sure that you size your papers and you make enough papers, and that's, I guess, yeah, make enough sizes of the papers to where they don't so they don't, so you have enough of them, and then also so you're not, it's the sizing. I was like, oh yeah, you got to make it wider at the bottom, smaller at the top. And as you can see, mine's kind of gappy, but I think what I'm going to do is I will separate these just a tad bit, so it makes it look a little bit more fuller. I guess the joy of working with paper, if you don't like the way that particular paper looks, you just rip it off of there. Oops. Okay. And then we're going to go for the pink. And leave enough room for the star. Again, I don't like that big chunk over there. Now, one of the things, okay. Now, the star. And I am going to use some of this fun little tie-dye paper, and I'm going to wonky my star. What I mean by wonky my star is, whoops, I'm going to cut it out myself. You could use a punch. I could use a punch. But what if you don't have a punch? Then what do you do? I'm going to get me a pencil. And I'm just going to hand stitch. And my stars, I used to be so... I used to not want to make stars because I couldn't make them perfect. But now I love the wonky stars. Now wonky stars I like better than perfect stars. So if you notice, I cut the paper in half. I mean, I folded it in half because you need a matching mate for the back side. Now I did hand draw some wonky stars onto that is one wonky star. Just gonna get some of those pencil marks around the edges off of there. Okay. Then look at that one. That is a one. But I kind of like wonky. I need some more glue with my glue stick gun. Where's my glue? I had it. I made sure I had everything out here so I would be ready. Okay, we're gonna kind of push it down with our finger until I can find my glue. I already made a big mess of my desk, which is totally fine. And make sure I have this matched up correctly. And with great concentration without squeezing the glue out and burning your fingers. We're going to mash them together. Oh, this is actually really cute, you guys. That is really adorable. But we're not done yet. No, ma'am. We are not done. We are going to add our glitter. Okay. So, this is bothering me. That little, it keeps coming unravel, which makes total sense. So I'm just going to add just a little teeny tiny rub of glue so it holds that in place. Okay, so now we're going to just put down a piece of paper. I'm going to take some glue, and this is where you can use plain Elmer glue. Oh, you know what? I also have this glue. I forgot I have this fun glitter glue, you guys. Let's squirt this out and see what it looks like. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. But I bought glitter, so we're going to get messy with glitter. So I'm just going to use my regular Mod Podge. You can actually use Elmer's glue with this. Whatever liquidy glue you have would probably do the trick. I'm going to get a paintbrush. Something maybe not as big as that one. Let's see what I got here. I don't like to use any real good paintbrushes. Like these are perfect for this. And I'm just going to dip my paintbrush in there. And I'm just going to kind of put some glue on my edges. Oh. Not on my finger. I kind of have to hold the tissue paper a little bit. But wherever you want sparkle, that's where you're going to add. I guess you could do. Okay, not to be impatient, but all of a sudden I just was like, taking too long. Oh, and definitely put some on your star. Okay. Woo! Yay! Messy time, messy glitter time. Whoa. I might need a bigger paper down below. This comes out. Oh, good grief, Rebecca. It has an opening here. I'm all like, let me open this up and just pour it all out everywhere. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more glue over here. Here I go. Messy, messy. We're getting messy, and that is perfectly okay. Alright, this is actually really fine glitter. You know how sometimes it can be real grainy? This is like cool. Oh, look at that star, you guys. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, we're going to give it a tappy too. Just like that. Oh my goodness. Oh, it turned out so cute. Okay, the glitter makes it, you guys. I was all like, I don't know if I like my little project, but oh yeah, get the glitter on there. It makes the project. Wow. Wow. Okay. So, we're going to set that aside. Oh, I'm so proud of this little tree. It's so cute. I really love it. The glitter makes it, you guys. I'm sorry, but it does. Okay. Maybe put just a teeny tiny bit on this little branch. This little paper branch needs some glitter. Alright. Wow. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay. Now, we're done with our first project. Alright, you guys. That was fun. Now, I mentioned making one to go into your journal. I need my water in here. I'll have to get that. Let's put all this glitter back in here. We gotta save it for later. Okay. I'm gonna have glitter all over me all night. Yay. Okay. I'm just gonna actually, let me work it out here like that. Okay, now I mentioned making one to go into your journal. So again, I'm gonna speed the video up because I know this is gonna take just a little while long. But actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be using this. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller because I'm gonna put this in my journal. But I just picked a random sheet of paper because we're gonna be covering up. This is one that I dyed. Alright, you guys, so right now you might say, oh my gosh, that is like one huge gigantic mess. It is, but let's come back and visit it when it dries a little bit. So we're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna be finishing up our night, and we're gonna come back and finish it up and work on it some more. So, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and get you this video to you so you guys can make this super cute little sparkle tree. And yeah, and we'll come back, and once this is dry, you'll see how adorably cute it is, and we're gonna add some sparkle to it, and who knows what else, right? There's so many possibilities. All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see your trees. All right, bye.